You know what, boys and girls? Welcome back. And John and I are here right now after having a phenomenal podcast with Chance. And we're just here going, we had the intention of recording a few episodes today, and we had to reschedule one. And so we were going to do two for stories, and then we were going to put one in for ourselves. And honestly, we're at this position right now where we're like, what do we talk about?
Yeah.
That's
I feel
really
like
what's
there's so
happening
much
right
to
now.
talk about, but like it's just hard to kind of get it in order sometimes.
It's hard to get in order, and so we're just going off the cuff, and we're
Yeah.
gonna see where this goes. Because actually, I want to get this on a podcast. Like, I want to.
This is a
I wanna-
podcast. This is a podcast.
This is a podcast, but I want to get this out early because I would love to get people. Because like 11 to 12 minutes, people watch, and then all of a sudden it dwindles off because we all have
ADD.
ADD, and so I want to ask this question early. Would you rather have us be more motivation, inspiration, just connecting with average everyday people when it comes to their stories, and that's the only ball we play? Or personally, I'm a very opinionated person. I
No
respect
way.
other people's opinions, and just because we have a different opinion doesn't mean we can't be friends.
Right.
But I would love to know, would you guys be okay, and would you guys like to hear very frictional conversations of going into different things, like, say, nutrition gurus on social media, and going into keto and how it can be done negatively, and how different nutrition plans can be done well, and how people can turn them into awful things.
Right.
And going into just more triggering.
Whoa.
What was that?
Whoa.
What?
Nothing. Go ahead. No.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
It was just more the hard conversation. I love hard conversations. I really do. I enjoy the challenge to be able to say something that's very controversial,
Right.
and doing my best to convey it in a message that, no one, it's like, I'm not trying to disrespect you, but I'm just trying to tell you from my perspective on what's going on.
Right.
But like going about that. So I'd love to, honestly, guys, from hearing that, comment below or send John or I a message. I would just love to know, would you like those conversations? Would you like to keep it more inspirational, motivational kind of stuff? That's what we'll just kind of go from there, because I don't want to dive in deep into a very triggering conversation if the average population just doesn't want to hear it. I'm like, okay, cool. So that's number one. John?
Number two, I think that we should do this episode on the biggest lies that we were ever told during weight loss, or prior to weight loss.
The biggest lies. Okay. I respect that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like before we were talking about on Chance's episode, the like how like the I don't know how you would actually say this. The amount of times you're supposed to eat a day, like, has changed. You know what I mean? So like,
bro, I got a great one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here you go. This one. So I was writing my book, and guys, I'm the science guy. I like to know how the alternator works in my car. Right. John is not so much in that realm.
No, I just want it to work.
You just want it to work, which is fine. I tell you what, one of the most fascinating ones to me when it came to a lie we're all told. Now it's interesting because I want to premise it. It doesn't mean it's not true. It's just It's not as true as what it's being portrayed in the general population. Meaning, this one blew my mind. We're all taught from personal trainers through fitness experts that it's muscle mass. Gain more muscle mass and you burn more calories.
Right.
Which is true. It is true. And what do I don't know about you, but when I was told, and I started getting dove into this position, you get a lot of personal trainers. You get these people that say, for every 1 pound of lean muscle mass you gain, you burn an extra 50 calories a day. Did you hear that? Was that what it was for you?
I've never heard that.
You haven't heard that?
But one of the ones that I always heard was like, for every 1 to 3 pounds you lose is like 30 pounds of pressure off your knees. Mm-hmm. Did you ever hear that one?
I heard that one too.
I don't know. I don't know how true it is.
I don't know that one, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, there is definitely pressure that comes off your knees with weight loss. I just don't know if you can accurately give an amount.
Yeah.
Maybe you can. I don't know. Again, I'm not the science guy. I'm just the guy who talks.
But it's so fascinating because I go into the science of that in my book because I was telling people that too, based upon what someone else told me. And then when I'm writing this book, I'm like, I want to do this thing I want to do this right. I want to
do this book by the book. All right.
I want to do this. I was actually about to say that. And I want to know what the clinical studies say. I want to know what actual science is stating. Right. And come to find out, it's not like, because then you think about it. It's like, okay, if you gain 10 pounds of muscle mass, you burn an extra 500 calories a day. That's fucking massive. Like that's huge. And you come to find out, it's like when you actually look at it, it's like 5 to 7 calories per day of extra 1 pound of muscle mass you gain. Now, it is a boost, but it's not nearly as significant as what a lot of personal trainers and what people will tell you. It's like, now it doesn't give away the fact of like, hey, focusing on building muscle mass because it helps boost your metabolism. It helps you it helps you burn calories because you're working out. All that stuff is true, but I'm like a fact. Like, tell me the truth. And the reality is, you burn somewhere between 5 and 10 calories per 1 pound of lean muscle mass, not 50. And so I just want truth. I just want to know reality. And so that was actually a fascinating one to me that I was taught. I was telling people that at the beginning of my journey, like, oh, you guys just work on your build muscle mass because blah, 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 blah. And it's like, it's not necessarily true. So yeah, that was an interesting one for me. What about you?
Yeah. I don't know. I remember back in the day, people used to tell me you had to do your cardio first before lifting. That one used to annoy the shit out of me. Like, if you didn't do if you didn't warm your body up and you didn't warm up everything, you weren't going to get as many gains as you should get. And then there would be the reverse side of the coin that would say, oh, well, if you did your cardio first before you lift, then you're going to have no energy to lift. And it's whatever the fuck fits into your fucking schedule, man. Like,
100%.
I don't know. I've done both sides. So like now I'm in this premise of I lift first. Like, since quarantine hit, I've been doing that 5K a day. So I've been walking my ass off, literally. And now when I train in Steve's backyard, I lift first, and then I drive home, and then I do my fucking walk. So
yeah, I would agree. Yeah, and my thing there is, like, when you get into these nitty gritties, like, does it matter is there like maybe like a 5% change if you do this first before this? And is there a subtle difference? Yeah, I'm sure there is. Like, if you dive heavy deep into cardio before weight training before cardio, depletion of the muscles, and you get into this super scientific, if you're trying to compete and win the Arnold, then this stuff matters. But for the general population that I just want to look a little better naked, it doesn't fucking matter.
And I kind of feel that way, and I'm probably I'll get heat for this probably, but I kind of feel that way, like with like taking supplements. Like I taken supplements in the past. Right now I'm not
define supplement. Just so what do you mean by supplement?
Fat burner, test booster, BCAAs, shit like that.
Okay.
So like I've run subs in the past. Right now, because there's no gym, I feel like it's pointless to be on anything because I'm not where I was. Am I getting the work done? Absolutely. Like, I'm working my ass off every chance that I get to go lift, and obviously I'm doing my 5K a day. But for example, when I started my weight loss journey, I think I did what a lot of people do when they decide that they're about to embark on this journey, and I went to my local supplement shop. And I walked in, and now the person who owns that supplement shop is a lifelong friend of mine now, very close. Me and Darren, he owns NutriWolf in Farmingdale, so shout out to him. He's helped me every step of my journey. He's very close to Steve. So when I started, that was the first place I went. And the good thing about knowing the person who runs the shop is that he wasn't trying to push a whole bunch of pointless bullshit on me.
Bro, the same thing with Cody, who we had in the show. So
exactly.
He's the same thing. He's
which I love about him. Like,
he creates a nutrition plan first.
Yeah, dude. So like, and I think that's a big problem for people when they first start this. They walk into a nutrition shop and they're just like, all right, this is my goals. I have no idea what I'm doing. Can you help me? And 9 times out of 10, you're going to have some fucking college kid, high school kid sitting behind the desk who just wants to make a sale. And, that's great for him, but it's not really too great for the people that are really...
You just filed for bankruptcy.
Right. And it's not too good for the guys like you and I who are actually trying to create change. So like, one of those things for me has always been BCAAs. And I have this argument with Steve a lot, for the past like 5 years. when I started my journey, I got a tub of BCAAs and I was drinking that stuff all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
And for me personally, I didn't see a change whether I drank my BCAAs or if I didn't. Like, it wasn't really doing anything for me. Like, and you know, everyone's like, oh, well, you need it for recovery. I mean, I drink my water. I think that the
No.
BCAAs is going to do the exact same thing almost as the water. Even to this
Do
day,
you want
man,
the science side of that?
please. I mean, I personally, even to this day, people are going to get mad. I don't drink BCAAs, man. I think they're stupid.
BCA, what is BCAAs? Branch chain amino acids. It's the
Correct.
breakdown of protein. Okay. So that's all it is. Now, if you're where the science is at this point is if you are at just a basic nutrition plan and you're not in a heavy deficit and you're getting your protein in that you want to get in at the calorie count you want to, BCAAs are irrelevant.
Right.
The only place they have a good foundation to is since they're so low calorically, if you're doing like a bodybuilding show, for example,
Right.
where
That's
every
why I feel like they're
calorie
good,
matters.
Yeah. Right.
And like you need to get every protein in you while keeping your calories down for body fat, then yes, it's effective. Like if you're really calorie restrictive and you're trying to control your calories, but you're getting your protein, you want to get the protein up, drinking BCAAs is something that will help that. It's also a strategy if you're trying to drink more water and you hate the taste of water and you want to make it taste better. Cool.
That's great.
But when it comes down to the actual science, if you're getting your protein numbers in at the calorie count you want, BCAAs is irrelevant.
Yeah.
It just comes into play when you're at a really restrictive calorie diet and your protein's down. It would be effective.
Right. And I also feel like it's pointless if you're somebody who's listening to this podcast and you're, say, you know, you're 450 pounds, 500 pounds, you're 350 pounds.
It doesn't matter.
You know, it doesn't make a difference, man.
No.
Like, unless you're about to prep and you're about to step on stage, I don't think that a supplement like a BCAA is really beneficial for you. It's just going to take money out of your pocket.
Exactly. And it's like fat burners. Like I go into fat burners quite a bit where it's like at the end of the day, what is the primary mover and shaker of a fat burner is caffeine. That's what does it. It's you get into does L-carnitine and a couple things kind of affect things? Yeah, I'm sure it does. But the mover and shaker in any real fat burner is caffeine.
Yeah, and the thermogenics.
Yeah, and what caffeine does is it increases the metabolism of the body and you burn more calories. But when you take these fat burners that are 1,000 milligrams of caffeine, 1,500, your fucking heart's gonna blow off.
Yeah, man.
And like that shit is not good for you. But again, it's like when we were talking on the last call, I break down nutrition, like weight loss and health is 70% nutrition, 20 to 25% working out, and then 5 to 10% supplements. Because they do have their place depending on what you have going on. But I don't care what kind of fat burner you're on. I don't care how much BCAAs you're on. I don't care any of that kind of stuff. If your nutrition's off, you ain't losing weight.
No, yeah.
Period.
You're not doing dick, yeah.
You're not doing anything. Yeah. And so, you can't deny that there's some influence. There's some science there. But again, it's 5% maybe.
Right.
But again, if you're like a bodybuilder, like you're like Steve and like everything matters.
Oh yeah.
Then like you need any advantage you can take because it's so minutely different. Right. Then yes, but if you're on here listening, you're at 400 pounds, 500 pounds, 600 pounds. Fat burners don't mean shit.
Yeah.
L-carnitine don't mean shit.
Fat burners not gonna make you lose weight, dude.
Yeah, like none of that stuff matters. You just need to learn how to choose a healthier lifestyle to eat in a calorie position and nutritional position that actually is effective.
Caloric deficit, baby.
Yep.
That's all I want to know.
Yeah, caloric deficit. But I tell you what, I do like to talk about that more in detail because I thought at one point it's all caloric deficit, and that's just not true either. Because you get Chance said in the last call, like his wife deals with PCOS and different things, and there are different syndromes that will deal with things. Like if you're type 2 diabetic, for example, if you're type 2 diabetic and your sugar levels are through the roof and you're like, what is this? This is the issue I have with my medical background. And so I'm not a doctor. So what I'm going to say is you got to take it with a grain of salt, but I'm being honest here. And type 2
a warning.
Yeah, right, I know, a warning, right, not now. A doctor. Type 2, this is my thing with type 2 diabetes, is the fact that you're giving these people insulin, which I understand you need to do because their sugar levels are through the roof in their bloodstream and you need to get that down. I understand that. But insulin is also catabolic, which means it forces fat retention,
right,
and you gain weight from it.
right.
And so they're dealing with weight issues. And so now you have to give them insulin, which makes it even harder for them to lose weight.
Right.
And so you're put in this position where it's like you with taking steroids.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah.
And so
it's just like asthma.
Yeah. It's putting a Band-Aid on the real problem.
Right.
It's on a gunshot wound.
Yep.
And actually I'll go into this because this is what we were talking about before we got on the call. Is right now I think the healthcare industry and health in general is in this perfect storm of this triad issue. Right now, you have doctors that are just not educated in nutrition. They're just not. And it's not their fault. The medical industry is just the medical schools don't teach nutrition. They just don't. You go to nutritionists, you go to the other places. But medical doctors they're taught from a end result. They're not taught from a issue. They're taught how to stop, how to fix a heart attack. They're not taught to deal with preventing it.
Right.
And the only prevention systems they have is the other issue, which is the pharmaceutical industry. And the pharmaceutical industry, I'm sorry, is a shisty, manipulative, awful thing. Now,
and I think we can all attest to that. I really.
And it's like, now, do some of these pharmaceutical drugs work and are they effective? Yes, they are. But they're being so manipulated by their data. They're being so manipulated by their studies and how they, for example, my dad, we talk about this all the time. And when he was in medical school, he had one of his professors, he said, statistics, it's like a fine French bikini. What it shows you, oh, so sexy.
Yeah.
But what it hides is essential. And so you get you can make data look kind of stuff, but then it still manipulates the crap out of stuff. And so you got a pharmaceutical industry that's not necessarily 100% in your favor because they manipulate data to sell their product.
Right.
And then this is the last part that isn't talked about much. And it's the individual's personal accountability for the decisions and actions they make in their life.
That's an incredible word.
It's the personal accountability. It's like, I look at it from my dad's perspective. My dad was an interventional cardiologist for 35 years. He focused on heart attacks. So what was the general thing he dealt with heart attacks? Obese people, smokers, that's what you dealt with.
Right.
And so you're in this position and you see from my dad's lens, which is, all right, this guy's 410 pounds. He's a smoker. I tell him he needs to lose weight. I tell him he needs to do this. He doesn't do it.
Right.
So I might as well give him a statin because at least maybe it'll help. But it's like, if the individual won't take accountability for the decisions he's taking in his life, there's nothing else that matters.
Right.
And so that's why I think right now in the healthcare system and where health is right now is this perfect storm of lack of self-accountability, a overly manipulated pharmaceutical industry, and doctors that are just not trained in nutrition. They're just not. And I think that's the perfect storm of what's created a lot of the havoc of obesity rates, of heart disease rates, of all of it. I think that's where I think it's at.
Well, also, I mean, you can't take away from the fact that the pharmaceutical companies are the ones funding the medical schools that are
100%.
Passing all the, giving all these packs to the government so certain drugs pass. Like whatever the case may be. I mean, it's just one big fucking revolving door.
It's a big revolving door. And the biggest thing to me is people love to blame doctors.
Yeah.
People love to blame pharmaceutical industries.
Right.
But they have a very hard time blaming themselves and being like, yeah, eating chocolate cake every day for 3 years is why I'm a type 2 diabetic.
Right.
And that's the piece of the puzzle that isn't.
There's zero personal accountability. Yeah. I mean, at least in this country from, living here my whole life and whatever.
Yeah, it's like they blame their PCOS. They blame their whatever. They blame.
And now we're not. And listen, before we continue, we're not taking away from the fact that these are real problems.
These are real problems,
side effects. But there's a Band-Aid for every wound, and everyone looks for that Band-Aid. Whether it's the person who has something wrong with them. Like for me, I'm gonna use myself an example right the fuck now and get it out of the way. My whole entire life, I told myself I couldn't lose weight. I couldn't do anything. Why? Because I had terrible asthma. I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. And I was on a laundry list of medications that were preventing me from doing things. As a child, I was kept out of doing gym class. I had to write book reports. And that is what society told me that I had to do. Boom. Done. I had zero personal accountability that I could actually improve my life, that I would not need said drugs, that I actually could participate and be a normal child. But I used what I had as an excuse, and that is personal accountability. That is it. Yes, there are things wrong with people. There 1,000,000% is. And, you know, and if there is something wrong with them, all the power to them. I hope that they overcome whatever it is, whatever obstacle is in front of them. But sometimes at the end of the day, you need to fucking take your balls and stop being a bitch and know that you can overcome whatever.
It's fault versus responsibility.
Right. Exactly.
Like I think it was from like Will Smith. It may not be your fault you're in the position you're in.
Right.
But it is your responsibility as an adult, as an individual, to get the fuck out of it, to figure it out. Now, there is a precursor to that. That may mean you have to accept the fact that you won't be a size 3.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. But it doesn't mean you accept the fact that you're a size 35.
Right. Yeah. And, you know, that's the thing too. Like, people have this preconceived notion of what they want to be. And then sometimes it's way more than they could ever possibly be. Like, I had this conversation the other day, and I forgot who I had it with, actually. So I apologize if you listen to this and it was you. I really do apologize. But like abs, for example, abs, you genetically have to be genetically able to have abs. That is it. You could be as thin as you want, unless you're somebody who is doing a physique show and you're getting your body absolutely depleted to go onto this stage. If you're not born with the ability to have abs, you're not going to have abs. And that's just what it is. And sometimes you just need to accept that. Now, if I'm wrong, please argue with me. Tell me that I'm fucking stupid. And
my angle would be is anyone can physically have them, but the sustainability of it.
To sustain abs.
Like you have your boy who can drink on the weekends, who works out 3 days a week, but drinks on the weekends, eats cake twice a week, and is still able to sustain abs.
Right.
And then it's like, for me, when I was doing my bodybuilding show, I didn't even get to full on abs yet. And I was down to 1,200 calories a day of ground turkey and cauliflower rice, doing cardio for 2.5 hours a fucking day and strength training for months.
Yeah.
And I still couldn't get there. Now, if I would have pushed myself for another probably 60 days, I probably could have. My body would have been in fucking shambles to do so.
Right. You would have
never
been able to
sustainability is the angle there.
Right.
And that's why I always promote health and happiness. Health and happiness has a phenomenal balance to it.
Yeah, man.
It's like, you don't have to be a size 0. Oftentimes size 0 may not even be healthy.
Right.
And but like health and happiness have to be the sustainability of things, because your responsibility is to live a healthy and happy life.
Right. And you're not here to punish yourself. That's another huge thing too that I think people forget. It's like, and I suffered from this for a little while too. Like, I got into the whole changing my lifestyle thing and, you know, enjoying this new way of life and whatever. And then I was taking away from the fact that, you know, there is some, you know, small moments in life where you are allowed to indulge and you are allowed to enjoy. Like, if it's your birthday, and I did this to myself for a few years during my journey, when it was my birthday, I would refuse to have my own piece of cake for my birthday because I thought I was just going to throw away, you know, all the progress that I made. And it's really not like that at all, man. Like, you have to remember, for me, for example, it took me 22 years to become 500 pounds.
I had ice cream last night, boys and girls.
Did you? That's amazing. You know what I had last night during the UFC fight? My boy ordered some food from a barbecue joint, and they had like a macaroni and cheese ball that was like this big.
Oh, yeah.
So I literally cut a little piece of it. I'm going to be honest with you. I did not eat the whole fucking thing. But I had a little fucking fourth of it, and it was fucking delicious. And I was like, okay. And then I drank. So, you know, like, I drank last night, and it is what it is. Like, I'm going to be a little bloated for like 2 days, but I'm going to get over it.
100%.
You know?
No, I completely agree. And yeah, like that's always a tough, I mean, it's interesting because the whole perfectionism, where it's like, I talk about it on a video a week ago, I was talking about lag time.
Yeah.
And people have to understand there's lag time to pretty much everything in life.
Right.
If, like, for example, because it's the compound effect of small things over a long period of time. So like if one McDonald's burger gave you a heart attack, would you eat it? No. Maybe. Now, if eating one ice cream, one pint of ice cream gave you man boobies, would you do it? No. But that's the whole point. And like, but it takes days on days, weeks on weeks, years on years to get yourself in that position. But flip of the coin, this people, I'm actually I am happy my story took a long fucking time. Like, for example, Chance on the last call, I love the fact he lost 240 pounds in a year. Right. And like we've had other people on the line and people in the future where they lose hundreds of pounds in a year, and it's great. It took me 3 years to lose 160 pounds.
Right,
3 years. Like it's fascinating on that front because.
But again, you're the science guy. It's trial and error for you.
It's trial and error, and it was time, and I really thought about sustainability. Right. So I would every 2 weeks, no matter what, I gave myself a celebration meal at least every 2 weeks.
Right.
Like
I'm the opposite side. I didn't do that. You know, like I wanted had real pizza. So
yeah, exactly. I wanted sustainability, or at least I wanted balance as even a piece of the puzzle to be.
Right.
So like I was doing it early. Now some people, it's like I want to just grind it out and I'll figure out sustainability later, which is cool. That's another strategy, but that wasn't for me. I wanted to create a strategy of sustainability as the process was happening.
Right. Now, and don't forget, there's a million ways to get to the finish line. So I don't want anyone to think that whatever we're saying is, the only way that you could get to where you want to go. There's not. And that's the beauty of this journey. Again, it's trial and error, trial by fire. Find out what works for you. Find out when you're supposed to work out for you. Like, I don't care what a book says. I don't care what an infomercial says. I don't really even give a fuck sometimes what your doctor says. You need to figure out, for real. You need to figure out what works in your life, because your life is your own. And that is it. And no one can take that from you.
And as long as your results focused, you're fine. Right. As long as you're making progress. Now, as long as it's not strippers and cocaine. Then,
right. And if it is, go talk to somebody. Go figure it out.
I'll tell you what, boys and girls, if you lose 100 pounds doing strippers and cocaine as your
I want you on my
I want you on here. Because that's like been my joke for years. It's been like, I don't care what nutritional plan.
Story.
Tell me your story.
Yeah.
But no, I completely agree. But the reason I was saying that is that lag period is you have to understand the fact that it took you years to get you in this position. It's going to take you more than 4 months to get yourself out of it.
Dude, that's my favorite meme that goes around every so often on Instagram.
Yeah. It's just
that lineup, of the getting bigger, bigger, bigger. And it was like, it took you this long to get this big. Why do you think it's going to take you overnight to reverse that?
Exactly.
And it's not. It's never going to. I don't care what anyone says.
There's a lag time to it, boys and girls.
Yeah.
And so that's always been, and kind of going back to the beginnings of like where we attempted to take this podcast to be, like, what are some of the biggest things we learned?
I think this episode is just gonna be called David and John Bullshit.
Yeah, 100%, something like that. It is interesting to me, and this is something I've learned that I think is firm, is here's a story. So when I was a freshman in college, my roommate was a was a long distance runner, but also played video games and ate a bunch of food. So it was a great combo. And so it worked out. If he didn't play video games and wasn't like a gamer, I would have hated him because he had 6-pack abs and he could eat whatever he wanted. And it was bullshit.
That's cool.
He's a good guy. Troy, I love you. And so I stood up in his wedding. And so he made a bet with me freshman year of college that I couldn't work out for 30 straight days.
Right.
And you sit here and I'm in this, I'm like, I could do that. I could do that. And my biggest mistake that I push to anyone who's 100 pounds or more overweight, you shouldn't really touch any strength training equipment for the first 50 pounds. It's just getting the body moving, because your body is not ready for that. Yeah, it's just not ready for it. And so I, on the other hand, went straight into strength training from the start, from 410-pound David, and my body was in so much pain after about a week in.
So you were lifting heavy?
Heavy. I went straight into it from the get-go. Like squats, deadlifts, just all of it. All of your big compound movements, big everything. I remember one night, I was like a week in, and I woke up with double Charlie horses in
Ooh,
my
baby,
quad,
I hate that. Yeah,
quad and
baby.
hamstring at the same time.
Ooh,
At the
got
same
it.
time. And freshman year of college, I was in the classic dorm rooms where you had four dudes sleeping in two
Oh, you guys were on bunk beds?
bunk beds.
Ooh.
And so it was all Sally like. And and
Hey,
so
Don.
it literally it was like 3 a.m. and I'm like and all my roommates are laughing at me and they could just see the pain I was in because you straighten your leg out to deal with your hamstring and your quad goes and you brutal.
Yeah.
And like we
call those oh my gods in my house.
Oh, brutal. And so I wasn't mentally ready for that. My body wasn't physically ready for that. And so like I was like, fuck this, and I quit. I was literally getting cramps from playing video games in my hands. Like it was yeah. I would be like I'm like, this is bullshit. And so like I always tell most people, it's like just start walking.
Yeah.
Just burn some calories.
Yeah.
You don't just hammer your body to start. It's not ready for it.
No. What I tell people is, like the approach that Steve and I took when I started my whole weight loss journey, obviously getting the body moving, just getting your heart rate going, man.
Mm-hmm.
If you are 100 pounds or more overweight, just get your heart rate going, walking. But also the opposite of what David did. So I did lightweight, high reps, which burned the fat, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, so you have to remember when I started this, I had the whole intention of eventually becoming a professional wrestler. That's why I started my journey. So it was a little embarrassing for me at first to be like
grabbing 7.5 pound dumbbells
exactly.
and doing this.
Yeah, and just yeah, exactly. But once you get over the fact that like who gives a fuck what anyone else in this gym thinks, and then you just you're grinding out fucking 10 pounds. Like, hey, how are you? Like, hey.
Oh, there was this dude at my gym. He took like 5 pound dumbbells and he was doing these.
Oh, I love that guy. That's my favorite guy in the gym. Yep. Actually, we have a heavy bag at ProFit, and my favorite people are the guys that like will go over and do like a half rep of something and then go over to the bag and start. Okay, all right, yeah, you get it, Mike Tyson. Right. Yeah. So anyway,
but yeah, and so like that's where it's like, I just always convey to people, it's like most people at the beginning, they're so mentally weak when it comes to change that if you were to take something head on, can some people bullet and do it? Yeah.
Yeah, without doubt.
Most people can't.
Yeah, and I'm not here for those other guys. I'm here for most people because I was most people.
Yeah, it's like, and that's where it's like, hey, if you're a bull and you just want to freaking break some shit and go at it hardcore, and that's the way you want to start, cool. But
like a guy like Chance, for example.
Yeah, Chance is a great example of that.
Dude, Chance was doing heavy lifting, hard labor when he was like 500 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So for like a guy like him repping out some heavy weight, that's whatever. He was naturally doing that anyway. Yeah. So like his whole thing
I was a little bitch sitting on playing video games for 10 hours a day.
Exactly, dude. I was in my room watching wrestling and fucking jerking off. Like, I don't know what the fuck
story time. So freshman
not
year,
at the same time, by the way. I was not watching wrestling while jerking off. I want to.
So freshman year, obviously, like your freshman year of college is all about like, hey, just trying new things. Let's see what you're capable of. And the new duty came out. The new Call of Duty came out, and all my roommates now, we were massive gamers, and so we're up for the midnight release.
Yeah.
So I had stayed up all day.
Yeah.
Like school and stuff, and then it was midnight release came out. We played from like 12:30 till my first 8 a.m. class. Went to my 8 a.m., went to classes, was done by like 12:30, came home, had lunch, played video games from 1 o'clock till the next morning, didn't sleep.
Jesus Christ.
I went on I didn't sleep. Me and my buddies didn't sleep for, what was it? It was like pushing 60 hours. Wow. It was like 60 hours. It was 2.5 days.
That's a problem, dude.
And no, like straight up. And I remember leaving after 2.5 days of no sleep. I remember leaving one of my classes at like 11 a.m. and I'm walking home and I feel drunk. Like I couldn't feel my fingertips. I was swaying. I started getting tunnel vision and like black was just coming. I hadn't slept in almost 3 days.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, I need to sleep. And I slept for like 18 straight hours.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. God bless you.
Yeah, it was that was the type of personality I was. The gamer. I did love my video. I don't even own the new Xbox or PS4 at all. I don't even own one.
Really?
Nope. Don't even own one.
I like gaming, but I'm a weird gamer. I like sports games.
No, I respect it. No, I mean, I'll beat your ass in NHL. I can tell you that much.
NHL without a doubt.
Chell was
without a
my
doubt,
game.
dude.
FIFA, Chell, I could take you down.
NHL, I still switch back to the old controls, like the 90s controls, because like, the fuck do I need this slapstick for? I can't stand that shit. Anyway, but enough about video games. If you want to find a really good video game podcast, go onto YouTube and search
Go on
video
YouTube.
games.
Actually, I have a couple buddies that do that. All right, so give me another one of like a misconception as you went through your transformation.
Not really a misconception, but like something that I was always attracted to when I was a fat guy, because it was like they were doing the work for me, was like getting on like Nutrisystem or like Jenny Craig. Like I used to fucking love those commercials.
Not a fan.
And I used to like look at my parents and be like, I don't understand. For like fucking $135, I could have a month's worth of food. I don't understand. Why do you guys want to keep feeding me $135 and I can look like fucking Dan Marino?
I can look like Dan Marino.
And they're like, no, that's not how it works, you dumbass. And then finally, I met someone who was on Nutrisystem while I was on my journey. Well, no, way before my journey. Excuse me. I was heavy. And I finally saw what the food looked like. And it was like very, very small amount of portions. And Fat JR was like, I don't really think I want to do that right now. I don't think that that's for me.
Yeah. My thing with all those types of your Nutrisystem, your all
Again,
your
we're
different
not knocking if you're on it. I respect you, and I hope that it's doing exactly what you want to do. Right.
But my biggest thing is when you singular yourself out to any single nutrition plan, you have two big issues. Number one, you can make any nutrition plan bad. Like you can turn keto into a really nasty thing. You can turn vegan into a nasty thing. Oreos are vegan, so you can eat Oreos all day, say you're vegan, but it ain't healthy. Right. And like eating all the synthetic fake proteins and stuff, like there's some, we got to have a conversation here. But you can make them all healthy as well. And so that's number one thing I'm not a fan of, when you start to idolize a single plan. And then number two is when you associate with a plan, as soon as you fall off completely.
Right. Or you're done with weight loss.
You're done. And so it's like, oh yeah, I did Jenny Craig and lost 120 pounds. And then you were like, well, my budget changed. I can't afford Jenny Craig anymore. And then they gain 120 pounds. And so that's the issue I have with every protein shake company, every individual. If they don't have the educational side of nutrition, of like how to cook, how to understand nutrition as their base.
Right.
If it's anything other than that, it's just extremely rare that they're going to sustain for the long term.
Right.
It does happen.
I agree.
But it's just extremely rare.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. Agree. I mean,
South
it's not
Beach
so
Diet,
like,
buddy.
for example, fuck South Beach Diet. I don't even want to hear it. I owned so many fucking South Beach Diet books as a kid. I hate that program. Anyway, no, but it's like saying, all right, I use Tide as my laundry detergent. Oh, well, they don't make Tide anymore, so I'm never going to wash my clothes again. Like, you fucking adapt. You find a new product. You continue on.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said before, there's and here comes me gonna hate on something now. It's just like you said before, like you can make any plan unhealthy. You can make keto unhealthy. You can make veganism unhealthy. You can make paleo unhealthy. You can make Weight Watchers unhealthy. And now it is time for why John hates Weight Watchers again, because of the fact of the 0 points, and you can abuse your 0 points. And it is so possible to do it. I attest to it. I've done it. I was on Weight Watchers, you guys. Like, I was on Weight Watchers for a very long time, and I had success on Weight Watchers. I lost 50 pounds on Weight Watchers, and this is a young JR. This is like 12 years old JR. Big dude. Like, I think when I was like 12 years old, I definitely was almost like 200 pounds, or I was 200 pounds. So, like, that was a lot. 50 pounds.
For 12 years old? Fuck, yeah.
No, but I mean, I'm saying the 50-pound weight loss, that was so much to me. That was amazing to me. And now this was back in the day. Like, this was before the app. This was before you could look everything up online. Like, I had the books. I had the going out to eat book. I had the fast food book. I had the cookbook. So, like, and I had the little turnstile wheel. Like, if you're with me and you were doing Weight Watchers back in the early 2000s, you know what I'm talking about. It had a little turnstile wheel, and you figured out what the fuck you were going to eat, and it told you your points. And it was fantastic. As soon as I started to stop doing Weight Watchers, the fucking weight came back. Or if I decided that I was going to, all right, so you're allowed X amount of points a day. You got a nice little fucking pamphlet that tells you these are 0 points, John. You could eat all these and you're not going to waste points. Well, I don't care if a fucking tomato is considered 0 points. If you eat a fucking pound of tomatoes, you're going to gain something. Like, I don't care. Just because it's 0 points doesn't mean it's 0 calories. And that's the problem that I have with Weight Watchers is points do not equal calories, and you will never figure out your long-term nutrition, and you'll be stuck in the cycle of being on Weight Watchers forever. If you're a very obese person, if you're morbidly obese, if you have 100 pounds, 150 pounds to lose, if you have 200 pounds to lose, me personally, and this is just me, this is my hot take, and anyone can argue against it. I don't feel like Weight Watchers is a sustainable alternative lifestyle for you to have if you're trying to lose in a large amount of weight. And that's it. And that's all I'm going to say. And I'm sorry. And if I offended anyone, I love you. And I do apologize. And I hope that you are having all this success in the world on Weight Watchers. And congratulations, WW, Oprah, you're the best. And that's it.
Oprah.
That's all I have to say about that.
Can we have you on our show?
I would love to have Oprah on our show, but that's a conspiracy theory for another day that we will not get into on this podcast.
Oprah. No, I completely agree. I mean, it's just like you can take any plan. What I've come to realize too, which is so fascinating, going full circle.
Yeah.
When I was 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, I tried all these plans and none of them worked. And then I'm 22, 23, 24, 25, post mental shift, and they all work.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's another root of the problem is we're never fixing this. We just want to fix what's here. We never fix here, bro.
It's like we're just having chances. What chances call? That was very mental. That was a very mental conversation.
If you're an obese kid, like if you were always the fat kid in class, you were always a fat kid in school, in summer camp, whatever. If you don't fix what's going on up here, because obviously there's something going on right here. Like, I get it. I love pizza, but I shouldn't have loved pizza enough to get up to 500 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So, like, there's something going on in this ticker up here, and you got to get that fixed. And that's fine. That is okay. But you need to figure out how and what avenues you need to go down to fix your mental health. Because it's all about loving you first. Mm-hmm. If you don't love you first during all this, man, I don't give a fuck. You're not going to have any success. And you'll have some success. You definitely will.
But you won't sustain it.
Right. And sustaining is the answer. And that's what you want.
Sustaining is the number one key to the game.
Dude, you want to sustain, man. Yeah, losing 272 pounds. Yeah, that's awesome. And I love the fact that I did that. But if I did that and then I didn't sustain it, and then a year later I gained it all back, it's not a victory. Mm-mm. It's not a victory at all.
It's actually almost it's worse than anything. It's like I did it and I failed, and now it's like, what's the point?
Right, exactly. And then worse. you get trapped in that cycle again. And that's all it is. It's just one big revolving door. And we here at the Accountability Group, we're trying to make you break that revolving door.
100%. Yeah. I'm excited to, like, when we get into coaching and everything too, like once we get above the podcast itself, and like, cause I'm a systems guy. I will admit, like,
you like S's. You're a scientist. You're a systems guy.
Systems.
You like the statistics.
I like sexy girls.
Oh, okay. That's good. Congratulations.
And hello. And so I'm excited to, like, when we start getting into coaching and start building systems around, like, helping people become self-accountable, helping people educate themselves.
Right.
Because that's what I was thinking on our last podcast with Chance. Chance, like, research, learn. Like, you have to be a somewhat semblant. You don't have to know how the alternator works. You don't have to know how your kidney filters out.
That's what I like about a lot of these guys, like Chance, Gormy, for example. A lot of these keto guys, I really have to give it to a lot of these keto folk. They really took the time out to really study and like understand and like everything like that. I, on the other hand, I wasn't like that. I was a trial by fire kind of guy. So like, and if you are one of those people that can sit down and do all that research, do it, figure it out. You're going to have more success that way. Like, just fucking figure it out, man.
No, but it's like, that personal accountability of, like, I'm excited to, like, create educational tools where it's okay, what personality type are you? Do you want to know just the bare minimum to sustain? Do you want to know how things work for the long term? Like, and like creating out those cool, whether it's video series, whether it's personal accountability coaching, whatever we do in the future, I'm really looking forward to that avenue. Because I mean, it's kind of like weight loss. I'll admit, I mean, yeah, my weight loss, losing almost 200 pounds now and everything, and people DMing me saying, hey, David, that one video you put up motivated me to lose 50 pounds. Hey, this and all that. And that's great. There isn't the same, for me personally, there hasn't been that same connection to like when someone's your quote unquote client and you help them lose 100 pounds. I think there's a little bit of a different emotional attachment to it. Compared to just like, well, I was just posting my normal shit and this happened to happen. Right, So I'm really looking forward to that, where it's like our first ton, like we help umpteen people and like we lose our first ton as an organization and be like, fuck yeah.
And we will be taking on accountability clients soon.
Soon. Yeah. We just got to figure out how we want to go about doing it.
Yeah. Another thing that I definitely want to talk about really quickly while we have the space and time and air is the accountability life group community.
Yeah.
How long have we been launched now as of today? Today's what? July?
3 weeks?
Today's what? What is today's date? July what? 12th?
July 12th.
Today's July 12th. So we've been active. We've had the community open for what? 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
And we have a really cool core group of people. I think we just hit 50 people in the community.
50 or 60.
Yeah. And it's awesome, guys. Like, if this is something that you think that you would love to be a part of, which I think that everyone should be a part of something like this, it doesn't necessarily have to be ours, but I would really appreciate it if it was. Then, I mean, please feel free, shoot us a DM and we will give you that link. It's free to join.
The link will be in the description of this too.
Yeah, it'll be in the description of this. It's free to join. There's nothing to sign up. It's literally a online community of people with, identical goals to yours, something similar, people that are going through the struggle, that they want that person. They need someone else there. And I love it. I think it's such an awesome.
And we have so many different types of people. We have keto guys, we have vegan girls, we got all different groups of all different types, awesome. That have done it in different ways, which is great.
Yeah. It's so cool. And it's really becoming like a really, like, I hate to use the word again, but it's a really dope community. It's really awesome. And, there's a mental health section. There's a physical section. There's, we talk a lot in just the welcome section. Like, that's where everyone just kind of gets together and we all bullshit. But it's cool because it's what I like to think of it is, it's like the anti-social media. Like,
Truth.
We're not here to compare and like, and to make our journey like someone else. No, this is what we're doing on our journey. This is what we did today. How can I improve? What are your hot takes? Like, it's so cool. So like, if you guys want a group of people that'll have your back all the time, definitely shoot me over a DM, shoot David a DM, look for the description look for the link in the description and join up. And it's a fun time. You'll like it. I promise. I swear.
Yeah. I dig it. All right, fam. We've been going for about an hour.
We have. I mean, this has been a really cool episode.
Very diverse.
We had no idea what we were going to talk about. Yeah.
And
if you've made it this far, I mean, congratulations. You must really have a crush on David. So
I will admit, it's kind of funny. The first question I asked, we ended up going into the friction a little bit, which is funny.
Yeah, it's bound to happen again. Like, guys, and I do really want to state this again. If you feel that we are, taking a jab, or if we're coming at a certain group, in the weight loss community, please know it's not vindictive at all. It's not to attack anybody. It's nothing like that. We really want to have a healthy conversation. We want to have, this conversation that not a lot of people are having. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of people are just like yes men when it comes to like, oh, okay, keto works. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, vegan works. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, it does. Paleo works. Yes, it does. No, but like, why? Why does it work? Why doesn't it work?
And where are the weaknesses? Where are the strengths?
Where are the weaknesses? That's it.
Where are the weaknesses?
Totally.
Perfection's a myth. Perfection is a myth.
Yeah. So I'm not here to be a yes man. I know David's not here to be a yes man. I know David is
very far from a
shit ton of trouble, but
I do have to work on it.
I swear to God that everything that we say, everything that we do comes from the greatest place in our heart.
And if you educate,
please. If he says something fucked up, DM me. We'll get you on the show and you could battle it out.
And you can educate me. And I am humble enough as a person that if you come from a place of reasoning, logic, and you have a real conversation with me, first and foremost, I'm going to respect your opinion no matter what you say.
Yeah, absolutely.
I may not agree, but I respect you. I respect your ability. Like,
dude, we're here to learn. Us too. We're not teachers. We're not professionals.
I'm not perfect.
Yeah, I'm not perfect, man. I want to learn. I want to hear from every single person who listens to this. Mm-hmm. So again, if we offend you, We apologize. That's not our intention. We're just here to keep each other accountable. We're here to keep you guys accountable, and we want you guys to keep us accountable.
Truth.
So again, I think we're going to wrap this up now. I think that's a really good place to put a bow on this. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time out again today to join us. If you aren't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Send this to someone you think will enjoy it. Send it to someone who you think can need that can use it to change their life. And if you're not following us already, you can find me at jarps_journey. You can find him at fit_drock. And you can find both of us on the Accountable Life group. Thank you guys again. Enjoy the rest of your day and stay tuned for future episodes.